All right. So Cheryl, California, you've booked a couple extra parties. And when are those to be held, or have you held them?
I will hold them this weekend.
This weekend. Awesome. Okay, perfect. All right. So, and are you just moving along with trying to book more parties, or what have you done for activity this week?
I did get on the phone a couple times this week, and I do have one lady that's calling me back today, and we're going to set up a mini party.
Awesome. Okay. Look at you. You're moving.
Yeah, and this was a lady I didn't think was going to date a party either.
Don't you love when you're pleasantly wrong? That's
yes.
the best thing ever. Best thing ever. Okay. Alrighty. So, I want you to be thinking about what your personal goals for this week's going to be. Obviously, you have this party coming up. These two parties. Okay, what time is it? I'm feeling a sense of urgency to teach you two different things today because you have a party coming up. Give me a second. I'm trying to remember which class that's in and if I'm totally crazy to bounce over there. That's not till lesson 7 and we're on 4. Okay. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to break this down for you really quickly and not give you the whole lesson. It's for class number 7, but it's on parties. And I really want you to give this a try this weekend because you've been with Tupperware for 20 years. And you've probably 30, I apologize, 30 years. And so you have seen every color, every shape, every different type of Tupperware that's ever come out for the longest time. And I am certain that Tupperware is giving you new ideas on how to do parties more effectively, and you have different products to demonstrate and explain. I want you to do one tweak, and it's 4 steps. It's at the beginning of your party. And Cheryl, Oregon, if you're ever in a situation where you get to do a group thing, and we'll revisit this in lesson 7, but I really, really want you to internalize this today, Cheryl, Oregon, or California, sorry, because this works, okay? I'm telling you, it works. It's uncomfortable at first because it's out of your comfort zone and it's something you haven't done. It's not that it's hard or you're asking them to do anything weird, you know, like, oh, everybody should just sign up to totally reorganize their cupboards and spend $300. Nope, I'm not asking you to do anything like that, okay? So don't be too scared. It's just that it's different. That's the only reason why it's uncomfortable, okay? But when you do it for the first time and you see yourselves double, you will, like, be floored, okay? This is fun. And this, when I learned how to do this, I earned the trip that year in half the time allotted. Okay, if you know anyone who's ever earned trips for their company, they are stretching it out to that last dollar the night at 11:59, right? Okay, we've all seen it done. I've done it myself. I earned it in half the time, okay? Because this works and you'll connect with your customers better than you ever have it at any other party. So you have the notes in number 7. I'm going to explain to you how to do it, and then we're going to go back to phone calling. But I'm incredibly passionate about both of these topics. But because you have 2 parties, and I want you to keep having more parties, and I want your sales to be good this weekend, I want you to do this, okay? All right? So this is how it goes. You want to ask a rhetorical question that you know everybody's going to say yes to. And it could be something like, hey, who here would love to have their fruits and vegetables last twice as long as they normally do right now in the fridge? Or who here looks in their fridge and finds that there's vegetables in there that they forgot were there and they end up throwing out food and throwing money in the garbage? Or who here has one area or one cupboard in their kitchen that is like bags, and some of them have clips and some of them don't, and things get buried, and that you wish that one cupboard in your kitchen was organized or something like that. Okay. So whatever it is that's kind of you feel based on your expertise with Tupperware will resonate with most people, that most people are going to go, yep, okay, I agree. That's the question we're looking for. Okay, does that make sense? You want a rhetorical yes question, and you've done this long enough, I know you can come up with one. Okay, this one is actually a yes no question. Okay. Like I hammer in, no more yes no questions. This one actually gets to be a yes no question. Then you need to ask a question that is open-ended, and this is where you do your introductions. Okay, so when I was doing scrapbooking stuff, I said, hello, welcome, my name's Michelle. I'm so excited for you to be here. Tell me who here has memories sitting in a box that you wish were, what did I say? That you wish the memories were in a book and they were preserved, and you worry that your family's going to wonder who in the heck they were and what year that was. Okay. I always had that one person now and then. It's like, oh, I have all my things up to date except the last roll of film. Just, film days still. So, but most of the time there's, everybody pretty much agrees. So I ask, if you had one or two memories that were preserved, that if you only had one or two memories and for some reason you either lost your memory or something happened to you, I don't like to go the death route. If you died and nobody knew what you wanted them to remember, something happened, if you could only preserve two memories, what would those two memories be? And tell me your name. So we go around, everybody tells us their memory, and which can get pretty emotional. There was a gal that was there whose husband had just died like in the last year, and we're all crying with her. So you ask some question where, if you had one area of your kitchen that was better organized, how would it feel and why would you want that area better organized? Or how would it feel to waste less money, in your fridge? Or what's the hardest thing about, I don't know, you might want to send me a couple samples and we can kind of mull over which question will be best, okay? Now, the thing you got to realize is when you ask this question, unless you just point to somebody and go, okay, you start. If you wait and let people, somebody go, okay, I'll go first, there's going to be this pregnant pause. And that's the part where that y'all will feel like you're going to die, okay? You'll be like, oh, they're not talking. Michelle said they would talk. And if anybody here goes to Sunday school, if you've ever sat like in church in Sunday school and the teacher asks a question and nobody talks for a minute, nobody wants to answer. And then finally somebody does the first answer and then everybody has to give their 2 cents. Have you ever been in a situation like that, or even a business meeting? Okay.
Yes.
That's what's going to happen. There's going to be, and there's a couple of reasons why. First of all, they're used to coming to a party and being talked at. And they're like, oh, you're going to ask us a question? We're supposed to talk? So they're like, oh, okay, let me put my head back in gear. I thought I was just supposed to sit here and listen. Okay? So that's the first thing. The other thing is they're really like, oh, okay, let me think. What would I do? What is that place that's most important? But this is what's fun. Okay, so they start telling you their problem area in their house or in their kitchen. Okay, or you could have it multiple choice. That might actually be your best bet, Cheryl, is to say, if you could have your pantry, one of your cupboards, or your refrigerator better organized, which one would you pick? Or something like that. And what food is it that you wish had a better container? Or something like that. Okay? And so from there, what you do is you say, and so everybody goes around, and the cool thing is that, Susie's here, and she'll talk about, oh my gosh, my fruit and vegetable drawers are such a mess, and there's always something in the bottom that goes moldy, and, she has her vent. And then Sally goes, oh my gosh, I have this cupboard, and there's all the cereal boxes and the chip bags, and the kids get them out and they're such a mess, and then it's humid here, and so they go soggy, and I just hate that cupboard. And then Becky's going to say something, and then Becky will say something, and Susie will go, oh, I didn't think about that. I have that problem too. And then all of a sudden, like, you kind of lose control, but everybody's talking about their problems, which is exactly what we want to know about. Okay? The whole goal is to hear the problems, right? Because if they have problems, we have solutions. Yay! Okay? So the introductions will take longer than normal. And your party will go about 10, 15 minutes longer than normal. But when you're at the end and you're helping them with product, you know what to suggest for them and what to help them buy. And you make this greater connection, and they'll buy something today, and you'll know what to call them later about when they have a little more disposable income, and what to buy next month, or a reason to host a party. Okay? Do you have a wish list that you give them as you're talking to write on Cheryl, California?
No, but
Okay.
I use an order form that has everything on it, and so I suggest they circle it.
Okay, so either do that or a wish list. A wish list might be nice because they might write it down if they don't know the price. If they go down and they look at the price, they might not circle it, going,
Oh, okay.
"That's more money than I want to spend." It's just an idea. So roll that around in your brain, okay? So then what you do is you say, could I share a story with you? So we haven't got to product demonstration yet, okay? They've all told their things. You have to kind of, wow, you guys have lots of different things that you want to improve in your kitchen. Thank you so much for sharing with me. Like, you have to pull it back in. Because all of a sudden they are all sharing stories, okay? They go off sometimes. Sometimes they're very respectful and they just answer their question and move along. If they're friends, oh, it's crazy, okay? So just be ready for that. But it's great because they're talking, because that's what you want, because then you connect better, okay? But I can tell, Cheryl, California, that you're kind of structured, and you're, and so it's going to feel a little weird, but it will be worth it if you can roll with it. Does that make sense? Okay. So then you go, can I share a little story with you? Something about myself. And you tell them whatever it is that got you involved with Tupperware, or how it's benefited you, or how it's benefited someone else, or why you're passionate about it. You got to share some story. So it's probably going to be hard to share this kind of emotional story. But for me, with the scrapbooking, I was like, when one of the things that got me in scrapbooking, it was before I'd even started selling the company, is I had my first child. When he was born, he only lived an hour, and all I have left is his scrapbook. And being able to put a scrapbook together, first of all, is very therapeutic. Second, it's something that I have, and my children know they have an older brother. And, you know, the house is on fire, where you're going to go for is for that scrapbook. And, you know, sometimes people are crying, and, you know, I've told the story enough that it's, you know, I don't have to get all blubberish about it. You're not going to have anything quite that emotional, probably. But It needs to be something that's heartfelt. It needs to be something that makes people connect to you, okay? So now it's time to, here's the Tupperware. And as you're going through the Tupperware, you want to do everything you can to remember their names. Because when you pull out this size and this shape, and it's for sugar or leftovers or whatever it is they're talking about, okay? Susie, you talked about XYZ. This is the container you're going to want to know more about, and you hand it to her after you get done talking about it, okay? The whole thing is that now that you know what they need, when you go through your presentation, you can do your presentation exactly the same way you did it before. I don't care how you do the presentation, okay? You'll have a lot of people give you tidbits on that. I don't care. What I care about is that you present the products the customers talked about. So you might have one clear in the back that you never talk about, and someone talked about a need for that one. You're going to make sure you talk about that one. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. Get a piece of Tupperware in every single one of their hands. Let them pass it around. You've, touched on their problems. At the end of the night, you know what they need and what you can help to advise them and be a an advisor to help them solve their problems. And you've got to know them way better than you may have ever before. Okay? And the fun thing about this, which you'll laugh, obviously I'm not terribly shy. I mean, I was always called bold growing up. If somebody has a characteristic, what's Michelle's? It was bold. I'm like, can I be like Christ-like or understanding or no, it's always bold. And I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, it serves me well depending on what I'm doing, but sometimes it got a little old. And what was fun about this is people that had never met me were like, you're so nice and you're not pushy and I'm so excited. I'm getting exactly what I need. And my sales were doubling.
Nice.
Okay, and that's why I try to tell people when they do this with me, you're going to feel more authentic. You don't have to be that typical salesman that we all, just get it. And you're like, okay, fine, I'll buy it. And then you avoid them, okay? No, they're going to love you and they're going to be excited to see you next again because you solved a problem for them and you listened, okay? This is about listening. Now, if you don't happen to be good at remembering names, I will say, okay, cute lady with that pink shirt on, my favorite color, remind me your name. Okay, here's your top word. I just compliment them. You compliment them, you can kind of get away with forgetting their names. But find a way to start learning names better if that's a struggle for you. Okay? So do this, and then at the end, you can wrap up those orders. It is powerful. I'm telling you, it is such a high. It's so much fun. Okay, so do these parties with these 4 steps. They're in lesson number 7. I want to see your script before you go on Saturday. I want to type down the questions you're going to ask and the story you're going to share. Okay, so let me help you make this weekend as big as it can be. Sound good? Okay.
Yes.
Cheryl, Oregon, you kind of look like maybe you had a question or a thought or comment.
Michelle, I was just curious on what you name tags at a party or a get-together. What is your thoughts on that?
I usually feel like it means they're not trying real hard to remember my name.
Okay. All right.
But I wouldn't say it makes anything really bad. But what do you do if they're sitting in a position or it's folded over and you can't see it? You know what I mean? If you choose to rely on them, you're still going to have a situation, or someone didn't bother putting it on, or you can't read their handwriting. My thing is do everything you can to remember their names. Like get online, research it, remembering names. When they come in the door, introduce yourself, find out their name then. Then do the names, introductions one more time. Make sure you repeat back their name to them. Like I have these, I fight to remember names because it means so much to people.
Yes.
Okay, so practice.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you, practice, because those name tags will fail you.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Cheryl, California, any other questions on that?
No.
Are you feeling empowered with that?
Yes.
Good. Okay, awesome. And can you see why it's so important to do it in that way?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. All right. So we're going to talk about phone calling. Okay. And Cheryl, Oregon, I promised you I was going to tell you why I want you to throw that part on the end of it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the phone calling system is on page, I don't know what page this is. Where did my page numbers go? 19. Does it look like 20 and 21? I don't know why there's not page numbers on these.
Some do and some don't have numbers.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the phone. The important thing to understand, and if you decide, when you make that decision, that I am going to learn to want to do this, or I'm going to want to do this. People who get over phone reluctance make 400 times more than those who don't. Anyone want to make more money? Okay. Getting over your phone reluctance and having good phone skills is one of the keys to your success. Okay. You can do your parties really well, but if you can't call and book parties, it's not going to do you much good. Okay. So this is always the first step, which you have been getting on the phone and booking parties. And this may even help you up the average and help you book a few more. Okay. And this is for any type of phone call. Okay. I'm going to teach you the first 3 skills, and you're going to hang on to these, and you're going to do these with every phone call you make this week. Every phone call. I don't care if it's to Elizabeth, your daughter. I don't care if it's to somebody at church. I don't care if it's to your neighbor. You are going to do these steps, and you're going to get so they roll off your tongue. Okay. And if you think about it, you'll laugh. You'll go, oh, Michelle, you totally do these. And I laugh at people because they think that I don't take my own advice or something. Of course I do. Okay. So the first thing you're going to do, and the important thing with these first 3 steps, is that you have to do 1 and stop and let them talk. Then you do number 2 and you stop and let them talk. And then you do number 3 and you stop and let them talk. Because I will have people who will run through those first 3 questions all at once and then stop and let them talk. No. The idea here is that we're getting 3 simple answers or 3 yeses, and we're allowing them to talk, and we're having a conversation. Okay? Does that make sense? If you jam through all 3, and I want you are both old enough to remember getting that phone call at 7 p.m. Hello, this is AT&T calling to help you switch your phone company. Or no, they would say, hi, this is Susie with AT&T. I'm calling to help you switch your phone companies. Which company are you with? And they talk and talk and talk. And we're like, okay. This is the way to do it so you don't make them feel like they're being sold. And they want to talk to you instead of want to hang up. Okay. So first of all, you're going to say, hi. This is so funny because I can say this name for both of you. Hi, this is Cheryl calling. Pause. And if they don't know Cheryl who, you can say your whole name. Okay? But hi, this is Cheryl calling. Not with Tupperware, not with Amway, not with, no companies. I don't think I hardly ever say my company name. People are like, what's your company name? And I have to like, oh yeah, that's what it is. Okay? No, it's just, hi, this is Cheryl, and the word calling. Hi, this is Cheryl calling. This is Cheryl calling. When it's calling, they know, oh, it's my turn to talk. Okay? And you pause. And there might be a pregnant pause if they don't know who you are. But it's really funny because women, they don't like to think they don't remember who you are and like to be polite. And they'll go, yeah, hi, okay, yeah, hi. They won't remember. Like if, let's say you met them at the expo and you know they probably didn't remember your name. They'll fake it, okay? So don't worry about it. Just keep going because you're going to tell them who you are. We're not going to leave them in the lurch, okay? Now, this step you can skip if it's your daughter, sister, mother, best friend, okay? But for those that you're calling that have been previous guests at a party, previous customers, met at an expo, okay? This sentence is important because it's going to click and help them remember where they met you. If you recall, we met at Susie's when we were doing, and you might have to throw Tupperware in there, at her Tupperware party last May, or whenever it was you met them, okay? For Cheryl, you're going to say, hi, if you recall, we met at the Women's Expo, and we talked about XYZ, which you've heard about this because you've seen the expo call. Okay, so, and then you say, do you have and then let them talk. They get to say yes or no. They do remember. Hopefully it's a question that they do remember. Okay, and then you say, do you have a quick minute? Not, is this a good time or is this a bad time? Especially not a bad time. That's like setting it up for negative. Okay, Hey, do you have a quick minute? Well, sure, okay, yeah. If they say no, we just say, okay, well, would calling back tomorrow at the same time be good? Or should it, say it's during the day, or should I call back in the evening? Optional closes. This time or this time should I call back? If you say, when would be a good time to call back? Okay, let me tell you, from a mom that has 4 kids, homeschools, and has a business, if you expect me to go in my brain and find a time for you who's calling to sell me something, to find a time to talk to you, you've lost your mind. I'm going to go, I don't know, I'm always busy, okay, because I'm just too tired to ask. But if you ask me 2 different times, I have to go to my calendar in my brain really quickly and go, okay, Tuesday at 3, Monday at 1. Yeah, I can do Monday at 1. Okay? You need to understand that you're doing them a favor by giving them optional closes. Okay? You really have to realize this. Busy moms, career women, whatever, everybody's busy with different things. That's just the phase of life I'm in. Okay? If you expect them to give you a time that they're free, they're just going to say, I don't know, I'll call you back when I have time. And they won't, right?
Right,
okay?
right.
Now, I would say 85% of the time they say, yeah, I'd be happy to talk to you. This doesn't happen very much that they say no. If they actually picked up the phone, they usually can talk to you. But there's those people that will pick up the phone even though they're running out the door, they're making dinner, they're about to go to bed. They'll still pick up the phone. And I'm like, remember, God made voicemail for a reason. Don't pick up your phone if you don't want to talk.
Exactly.
But it's okay. It's just some people just do. Okay. Me, I'm like, yeah, voicemail. Yay. Okay. So after you've got the yes, that's when you're going to use your questions. So Cheryl, Oregon, you sent me your questions. Well, both of you have sent me really good questions. And that's where you want to say, you know what? I would love to get to know you a little bit better and find out, like Cheryl, Oregon, find out if a particular product might be something you might want to try. But based on your needs, I don't want to tell you all about it until I know if this is something that's even a fit for you. So that's what I would say instead of that whole campaign thing. That sounds really salesman-y, in my opinion. Okay. So when you're saying, you know what, this isn't for everyone, can I just ask you a couple questions to see if, get to know you a little bit about your skincare, and you may have something you're already using and loving, but it's fun to get to know people, and then I know who might be a good fit to try it. Now, because Amway carries so many products, I think you need to come up with a list of more generic questions that can take you into the different avenues that Amway has. But if you want to focus on the skincare for a couple weeks and get used to the questions, and then we'll get another set of questions for you, that's fine. But just realize you're really narrowing your market by only doing the skincare ones.
When I do that, and I actually then come into their home in the evening time, I can be in and out within an hour. What I also do as we're going through the application, the process of how to use the products. And so in the time that we're waiting, if I'm doing the renewal peel, there's an 8-minute lag time. Then I will also then go onto the computer, show them our retail site, start talking about their shopping, where do they shop, that sort of a thing. So I do bring a different part of or more of the business into it, mm-hmm. as we're sort of filling up time space with the artistry.
Okay, so is this a suggestion from the company that this is start with the skincare and then move into the other products? Is that their...
No. What they usually, everybody has, because like you're right, there's so many different directions in the company. What they do through Worldwide is our skincare is our highest point value, and our profitability. So that's sort of why I have gone with artistry. And then as I get to know the woman, or the person, because when I come in and do the care, well, we go through everything. I leave product with her for 3 days. I come back and I go through a questionnaire. And at that point, she's had the opportunity to use the product 3 days, and 90% of the time they buy.
Okay.
And so
So
that's kind of.
what if you have someone though that like is just dedicated to Mary Kay? Or what I'm saying is it would just be nice if we had a couple other questions to add in there, so that if for some reason, let's say they're a Mary Kay distributor or something, okay?
Right.
I just want you to think about it, okay?
I had a girlfriend that I contacted, and she said, well, I use Lancome.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, Tony, that's great. I said, that would be awesome for because I use the word campaign, is that all I'm looking for is your experience with artistry compared to what you're using, and let me know so that I can take that back to the corporation. And she switched when she used artistry.
Oh, okay.
So I'm saying that's kind of why I bring in, campaign, and I'm gathering information. I don't go into, if they ask resistance, then I will say, I'm just looking for your input, for you to experience artistry so that I can take the feedback back to corporate. And I'm just doing an area or regional for the company, that sort of things.
Well, like I said, especially, so that exactly is one of those reasons why you'd want to have a couple other broader questions. I probably need to see like your product list, and like what else is a higher value, or what other items are unique to Amway. I mean, like I said, I still have a pan. Literally, it's a like you throw a can of vegetables in. I mean, it's that big. This pan looks like it's brand new, that my parents bought when I was 10 or something, and I don't know if they still do cookware, but I'm just saying, there might be a couple other unique items that if for some reason the skincare wasn't a good door to get in with, we want to equip you with a couple other questions so that the door doesn't slam.
I do take with me the women's pack, which is a 30-day supplement, and it has 4 different. So in my questions,
it still needs to be on your list of questions when you're making the phone call. So if the door gets shut before you even get there.
Gotcha.
Okay. When you're getting on the phone, I want to give you as many opportunities for success as possible.
Gotcha.
Okay. So I'm just saying, if they're not willing to try the skincare, then what?
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like I said, it's just about opportunities. That's what it's about. It's not making options and opportunities. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So that's where you're going to ask a couple of those questions. And you both had excellent questions. Cheryl, California, I'm not sure if I know you had really, really good ones. The first one needed to be just a little more either kitchen focused or, but hey, tell me, and if you're calling, just so you know on these, if you're calling someone who's been a previous customer or hostess, the 2 top questions I like to ask for that type of person is, hopefully you have the sheets in front of you, you remember what they bought. Hey, I know that you bought this. Tell me how this has been working for you. Hey, what was left on your wish list that you weren't able to get last time? And then you ask them some more questions to, reveal some of their needs. Okay. And then you say, hey, based on, and this is where, Cheryl, Oregon, I was telling you, I'd flip it to the bottom. So if you're looking at this sheet, it says, based on what you've told me. So based on what you've told me, just so you know, I have this fun campaign where people get to try the skincare for 3 days. And because you told me your skin is dry, and because you told me that the seasonal changes just wreaks havoc on your skin, and because you told me you're wishing that those crow's feet weren't showing up, I've had some people have had success. I've had some people with similar issues who have had some success. I would love to have you try it to see if it would be a good fit for you. Okay? That makes sense? Okay, it's that question
Yes.
that I do all the time. I'd love to see, I know someone with a similar situation. I'd love to see if this would be a good fit for you. Okay? So,
Okay.
that's where you're going to go, Cheryl, California. Hey, I would love to see if this new product would be something you'd be interested in based on blah, blah, blah. You're saying your husband loves to take leftovers. You were saying you want to cook more at home. You were saying that this thing in your fridge goes bad. Whatever it is, okay? And since you've been a hostess, you know the rewards of getting stuff for free. Would you like to get your girlfriends together again? Or you were at a party, Susie happened to get $300 in free stuff. I would love to have you be able to get your friends together and get that free stuff too. Which, are you more of a weekend or a weekday girl? And if you'll see, it's the same thing. We want to do an optional close, okay? And let me tell you the importance of doing optional closes. Optional closes, there was an organization that did these, and they were doing it with retirement centers. And so they had people on the phone, and they would go through all the questions. And at the end, they would say, so do you want to come see it? That's one person. The other person said, would you like to come on Tuesday or Thursday? The person who said, so do you want to come see it? Booked under 10. The person who said, so would you like to come Tuesday or Thursday? Booked over 80. Okay? Huge difference when you have filled several needs. Now, the reason why you have a list of questions, if you see here, it says, based on what you've told me, you need to repeat back to them 3 needs they had. So when they've given you an answer to one of the questions, you just say, that's really interesting. I'm so glad to know that. Can I ask you let me ask you another quick question. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, your skincare and your kitchen-based questions. And you keep asking questions, so you have 3 needs. Then you go, because you have this, this, and this, some of the things I found people with similar situations are, they use X, Y, Z. You tell them the products, and for you it just might be artistry in general, but you tell them why artistry fixes this problem, why it fixes this problem, why it fixes this problem. You are the advisor, okay? And then you say, I would love to come to your home and let you give it a try. Would it be better if I came and dropped it off at work at noon, or would it be better if I came and dropped it off at your home in the evening? Okay. Or would you like to get a couple of those products? We have these specials going, or would you like to get some of them for free and book a party? Okay.
So am I being too then controlling? Because what I like to do is to be able to, an evening or on the weekends with the gals, and actually right by their side, step by step, going and using the products. The drop, I have tried that, and it either gets left at the office or they get home.
That was just a sample optional close. Not
okay.
The perfect option. I don't care.
Okay.
I didn't say weekend or weekday, weekend or weeknight, whatever it is. It's just as long as it's optional. Just not yes, no. You will still get some no's. It's no big deal.
Right.
Okay, not a big deal. You'll still get some no's. I don't want either. Okay, well, thanks. No big deal. Okay, but you're going to get a lot more yeses. Okay, so do you see why I want you to flip that to the bottom?
Yes.
Okay. I knew I was like, I can't email this and explain this. Just like, questions were good. That was her assignment. I'm not going to worry about this other part for right now.
Well, and I appreciate it because, yes, I knew it didn't sound quite right, but I was just going brain dead at the time. Yes, so thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so this thing needs to be typed up based on your product.
Okay.
Okay, it needs to be emailed to me. You need to see what your
All of this, what email to you?
page 20. You need to type it up in your company based on your company product. Do you have any questions about the phone calling system, Cheryl, California? Are you feeling kind of enlightened, like phone calling could be a little less scary?
Yeah. This is stuff that Elizabeth and I have talked about too. So just to kind of zero in on it more.
Yeah. And I'm up to 2 questions. I'm like, why would you stop at 2? What? We've had our laughs about it, and now she totally gets the benefits of doing 3, but she would get nervous. I'm like, well, that means you're focused on you and not them. You're worried about your nervousness. That's why you only go to 2 questions. You're not focused on the customer. If you're focused on the customer, you want to know as much about them as possible. You may need to ask 5 questions. I don't know what's going to take for you to find 3 needs. And so now it's like she gets it. I don't know that she necessarily does it perfect every time because we all are working on establishing our habits. But she does get why it's important. So, whereas before she's letting her fear take over. So, okay. All right. We've gone through a lot of stuff today. Cheryl, California, you have 2 assignments that if you have time today, I would work on both of them, get them sent to me so that you can feel really good about them tomorrow before you then have to go do your party on Saturday. You have your script, your 4-part script. It's in chapter 7, and you have your phone calling system. Okay. And it'll be really exciting to see how your parties go. Make sure you're doing really good hostess coaching the next 2 days so that you have as successful of an experience as possible. Okay. Any other questions or anything you need to brainstorm about before we get off?
Yes, you had sent some emails about those other classes that you suggested that we jump on the month before Christmas and on
Facebook.
You sent me some emails. Yes.
Well, they're Facebook messages, yeah. Invites.
Okay, so invites, yes. So I had gone to your these are live classes that you're going to be doing that are free.
Like this. Mm-hmm. So invite everybody. Invite your upline, invite your downline, invite your sidelines, invite your friends that sell something else. Invite everybody, okay?
Okay.
And we'll help more people do more sales, and we'll see who else needs to do 90-day challenges.
Okay.
I guess I didn't see that one.
You know, are we friends on Facebook, hun?
No.
That's why. It didn't come through in an email. It was an invite online. Are you on Facebook?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Go find me through Elizabeth. You'll see she posts to me a lot. You will find me. So,
okay.
Go find me and add me, and you can easily find those invitations or just message me and ask me to invite you to them. You don't have to have an invite to get on them, but it will be easier for you to find them if you ask me for them.
Okay. And then what are we doing about class next week? Thursday is Thanksgiving.
Oh, you don't want to do Thanksgiving? I'm just kidding. Okay, I didn't think about that. That's kind of why I usually avoid Thursdays, is because and then there's Christmas on that too, and that. Okay. What day would be better for you ladies? Do you want to do Wednesday morning? What's your work schedule again, Cheryl, California?
Well, Wednesday I'm leaving for Thanksgiving to go up to my daughter in Ridgecrest.
Okay. See, on Tuesdays I have a class at 9. Do you work Tuesday mornings?
Yeah.
And until what time?
So, like 5.
Oh,
so I'll get home at 5:30.
Okay. And I have Toastmasters in the evening. Okay, what's next week's lesson? Hang on, let me think here.
is the phone calling.
It's on finding new customers. We just did phone calling. So, right, we're on number 4, not number 3, right?
Correct. Which is the phone calling.
That's right now. We just did phone calling.
Yes.
Next week is on finding new customers. Well, let me tell you, finding new customers is recorded on YouTube. So what we could do is have you watch it at your leisure, and then each of you, I could just book a 20-minute one-on-one with each of you and see what questions you had about it, and check in with you to see how things are going. Would you like to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
So let's do that for next week. I'll send you the link with finding new customers, and then we will just have a 20-minute one-on-one and find a time for that. And even if you're traveling, even if we need to do it on Friday after Thanksgiving, I don't care. Do you know what I mean? So it can either be before or after Thanksgiving, whichever is fine.
Okay, so we'll just call you?
Yep, send me a message. We'll find a time. We'll email and find a time that works for both of us. Each of them separate, not at the same time. We'll find 20 minutes for Cheryl, California, 20 minutes for Cheryl, Oregon.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for reminding me of that. See, that's why.
That works.
You cross your T's and dot your I's. Me, I'm like, how about I see my pants? Which works for some things, and other things, my detail-orientedness needs to kick in a little more. So, okay.
All right, sounds good.
All right, ladies. Have a good one.
Thank you, you too.
Okay, bye-bye.